Welcome out everyone to this HardGL HL Season 23 Week 3 matchup between Penguin Logistics and Witness Gaming. I am Zagron, joined by Rogue and Dolphin behind the camera as always. So Rogue, how are you doing right now? We're the first cast of the season.
Oh my god, I'm so good. I'm so happy to be back. I'm also filling in for Alta, who is sick, but you know, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree being sick myself. But hey, for better or for worse, at least I can talk. So I couldn't be happier to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yep, and we do have a banger game on the way. We got PL Swiftwater for this Week 3 matchup, and both our teams here tonight are 2-0 undefeated, sitting at the top of the table. These teams are heavy favorites to be 1 and 2 seeds going into playoffs, so this match definitely going to matter a lot.
That's right, and you know, with looking across these teams, I mean, there's so much to say. Like when we look at things like pedigree, when we look at things like people's legacy and their history, a lot of them being one of the best, if not the best, on their class. There's up and comers. There's people who have played together, built that chemistry over seasons. Everything you could hope for, in what we sure hope to be a very close match here on Swiftwater.
Yep, let's go ahead and introduce the teams since you guys will probably be seeing a lot of them as the season rolls on. On the side of Witness Gaming is going to be Blank on Scout, Joey Lemons on Soldier, Melon on Pyro, Kira on Demo, Erie on Heavy, Rebel on Engineer, Ashley on Medic, Lenny on Sniper, and Fish on Spy.
And on the side of Penguin Logistics, we have Michael Lele on Scout, Jolo on Soldier, Kuki on Pyro, Exile Demo Man, of course, Deleted Taters on Heavy Weapons Guy, Exa tonight subbing in for Celery on the Engineer, Fleeble Medic, Jen on Sniper, and Taiga on Spy.
Yeah, very stacked rosters across the board. And like you said, a lot of established talent, but a lot of newcomers as well. And looking at specifically the Penguin Logistics roster, there's a lot of players who've been up and comers recently that have broken into, I'd say, mid to high invite caliber. Taters being one of them, the heavy for that team. Every time I see him play, I'm always impressed. So on a map like Swiftwater, Heavy has a lot of responsibilities. That could be one of the classes that you're looking at to be a difference maker in this match. With predictions going up, if I were to kind of look down the teams without having seen either of them scrim or play this season, I gotta lean Witness Gaming, but at the same time, I would not be surprised if a round goes in the way of Penguin.
Right, I think you know, I always look to Exile and Exile's teams for that kind of explosive play, you know. Obviously, Kira is a fantastic main caller as well, so there's going to be a lot of the strategy here at play. But I do think when you look at Exile and you look at the way that he can rally the team behind a crazy idea and then deliver and execute, you know, you can never really bet against him completely, right?
Yeah, and of course, a lot of other players as well having that experience to be difference makers. Mike on Scout is actually kind of a dark horse to me, where you can see him run in and do a lot of work. We are rolling out here as the players of the teams have readied up. It is going to be, looks like Penguin Logistics starting out on red, Witness starting out on blue. So we're looking to see which of the players can make a big difference. I personally am going to have my eye on Jen, because going up against Lenny is no easy task. And Swiftwater's a map where if the defensive sniper is able to kind of settle in and start railing off headshots, they can stall everything by themselves.
Mission begins in
right.
30
Yeah, we're so used to, I think, a lot of times seeing coffin maps or even the shorter payloads where if the sniper can put up big numbers, that's just the round. But I do love this about Swiftwater having these 5 points, especially the long cart times. Sometimes it really is just that one clutch pick, right? Getting the sniper at the right time, getting the engineer on a early rotation, obviously getting something like a drop. That opens the round wide open. So yeah, let's see what they got. Good call.
Yep, gate's about to drop. We'll see what Witness Gaming do. We've seen a lot of teams, the meta shift on Swiftwater first to be fairly heavy on the contest aspect, where you're willing to play out a tunnel, your heavy's going to play committed, Scout, Soldier, Spy are going to play out in the house, and just try to stall card as much as possible. So let's see how well Penguin Logistics is able to do that against Witness Gaming, as looks like Cart walking out here, Scout 3xing. I like this. Teams a lot of times don't get a 3x early, and it is like a time sink. Every second counts on Swiftwater, so getting a 3x constantly going with a fist heavy, a class that's not very easy to kill, I like it a lot.
Ooh, a short sack over. We lost just Poseidon so far, and Fish rattling off the revolver shots here. Kira's actually kind of stuck in with a nice angle onto this gun, getting the pack as well, so actually kind of late gun pull from Exa. Kira's already deep enough to get a little bit of spam out, but nothing really to find for it in a pretty standard first push.
I mean, Witness Gaming impressed me a lot there because we've seen team get caught off guard by the first contest coming out of the defense. Their strat to Fist of Steel a heavy onto the cart so he could take the brunt of the force, and then everyone collapse on the collapsers worked out very well. They got every kill on that, and now they're in prime position. Only 50 seconds through first. Now they're going to take the Uber through apartments here.
We have a Scout Pyro in the lead here, getting crazy in the stairwell.
Yeah, Melon going
Yep,
down means that they can't really keep much space here. Scout's going to be in deep. They do get the Engineer somehow. Blank getting that one on the board. So that means the gun is under threat here if a sniper or a soldier want to peek out and shoot that. But Jen is watching the angle, going to be looking to take the head off of anyone who tries to take down the gun.
Yeah, I do love the addition of the Scout there because somehow they're so slippery and lower like that. And now with no Engineer, there goes the Sentry Gun, a nice shot from Poseidon to kind of thread the needle through side tunnel there. Now Exo, like, just now rushing to get everything back together. Gun goes down again as Kira just walks forward.
Yeah, Melon is deep out of tunnel. Poseidon going for a soldier v soldier fight onto Jolo. Will hit that out, and a lot of kills coming in. Exa gets stabbed by Fish. Fish doubles up onto Taters, and with Blank coming in on the flank, this is a fantastic push by Witness Gaming. Everything was done correctly. You have players set in all places. Melon walks out of tunnel, your soldier jumps above side tunnel, Blank wasn't behind, comes in, Spy comes in. It's just perfect. Everyone came in from a different angle, and basically just shot everything that was stationary. It was so free. And it looks that free because of how well it was executed.
Yeah, there's such like a hard spawn camp here on third that there was absolutely no possible way. So they're backing their way all the way out to fourth. But honestly, I almost wish they kind of baited them in on third a little more because once you get a good fourth hold, you're sitting pretty here. There's so much card path to work the way up, but it looks like Lenny's going to be the first one other than Fish kind of peeking around this corner. Let's see if he finds that opening pick.
Yeah, Penguin Logistics kind of bleeding time right now. 2.5 minutes through 3 points is very fast time for Witness Gaming. Gonna see if they can stabilize a bit on defense, Penguin here. They have the gun up to level 3 in just a second. Jen's scoped up on the tree, looking to find Lenny. Lenny takes a big rocket on the shutter, but he has some people supporting him, so let's see what side of Witness Gaming want to do. They do have about a 15% ad to go off of here. I don't know if they know they have the ad. They are going to pop their Uber and go. They immediately get 3 kills. Tons of damage on these ramp players. Uber not had yet, and they probably knew they had that 10% ad. Counter Uber back in for Penguin Logistics. It's a bit rough. They have to use the entire Uber getting out into the ramp. They need to find some kills here. They do get Kira, which is a good start, but it's not enough. They're going to lose everyone on the back out.
Ooh, losing Exile was like kind of the nail in the coffin, but now losing Fleeble as well as the last pick. Actually, luckily, the respawn timer isn't detrimental here, but that is going to be a huge ad for actually pushing in the last.
Yeah, I mean, completely... It's super clean offense by Witness Gaming here. They've really made 0 mistakes.
It feels like they get, you know, you give them an inch and they take a mile, right? Like as soon as they get the gun, players walk forward, and then that leads to another pick, that leads to more map control. Right now, they're already, you know, so clinically working their way into last, right? They have their soldiers in the right spot, their medic perfectly safe. The cart pushers are kind of scouting this out, calling what they see. It feels like the world is their oyster as they're, you know, a good couple seconds away from this Uber advantage.
Yeah, and they're going to group up a lot of players up on this high ground, looking to get buffs out for everyone. Ashley getting that last percentage of charge, and looks like they want to go in through the shutter and through main lobby. They have a couple players in the car. Actually, they're going to drop down and immediately pop on ramp. That was unexpected. They're going to go up and see what they can get. They get a kill onto the Pyro, which is pretty big. No one can reflect onto the gun anymore. Goes down. So does Exa, so no Sentry Gun. They're stacking the cart with their players. Only 3 up for the side of Penguin, and just like that, instant cap. 426. Okay, insane time, but like, that wasn't... Okay, so sometimes, hear me out, right? Sometimes in Highlander, we see teams roll through maps like Swiftwater and like stopwatch maps on like blazing fast times, and you're thinking, wow, they got completely outskilled. The enemy team hit all their shots, the enemy team are just better players. I really didn't get that feeling. Not to say that that's not the case, but it really felt like Witness Gaming played a perfect macro half of Swiftwater.
Very well said, yeah. Yeah, you always think like, oh no, that one detrimental drop, or like, oh, losing the wrong person at the wrong moment, whatever. But no, this was kind of like really that death by 1,000 cuts, but it was so surgical, so clinical, right? Like they knew exactly where to, you know, dip the tip of the knife and then twist a little bit, right, just to get the right people in the right spots, at least for Witness. So I've not seen them push that fast in a very long time.
Yeah, it's like you said, there was no like big medic drop or like, you know, massive individual play from any player. They really just made every push work perfectly with all their pieces combined. And if that's the level of Witness Gaming that we're going to see this season, I know who my favorite to win the trophy is.
Yeah, I feel like the difference between the team playing very well and the team playing almost flawless, like we saw from that first half of the round, that's an enormous gap, like a Grand Canyon worth of a difference. A couple quick picks here. Jen going down first, and the sniper means the defense can work their way out a little further. Free reign here for Lenny, who's on a... God, is that called a bizarre bargain? What is that sniper
Yeah, that's
rifle?
the bizarre bargain. Soldier in, though. 2 rockets into Ashley. Villa will get a nice pick. That's the kind of danger of playing your med out of the tunnel. If a soldier sneaks their way in, it is a pretty clean 2 rocket. And just like that, Witness Gaming get a pretty much full wipe. They have a couple stragglers left out here. Blank on 1 HP. Gonna try and back out with the help of his soldier. Tiger in the back, looking for a sniper pick. Doesn't get it. But that will kind of force Lenny to back up. He's half HP, so they are going to look to try and push and cap first here. This is the thing I'm talking about, by the way, where they weren't 3xing the cart, Penguin, so they've just lost a lot of time when they didn't really have to.
I'm curious, too. Actually, great banner from the side. They take the
banner
mid here. A quick 2 picks, and now suddenly this is a cart contest.
Yeah, the banner is really everything they need to get back out there. They got 7 respawners and just walked out of the tunnel with the banner and cleaned up everyone who was kind of unaware. It didn't look like Penguin were ready at all to kind of corral those flutters into any area. They just get destroyed on the repush, and now Cart's sitting still. Witness Gaming out in full force, ready to contest first again.
That's brilliant, yeah. See, yeah, it's always dicey playing your medic forward like that, but I love this, you know, when you kind of realize, hey, wait a second, even if our medic drops, we can still salvage. That, to me, is well, my favorite kind of call to make, so as a medic player myself, of course. If I'm whenever I'm not a liability, we gotta run forward, right? And right now it feels so scrappy, right? And with only 2:30 left on the clock, like, if this is scrappy for much longer, then suddenly that's the entire round gone.
Yeah, I mean, Lenny's on a 7k with that bizarre bargain, so when you hit all the headshots, make it an 8k. That's a body shot, minus charge, but he's not going to care too much. And yeah, with only 2 minutes 20 left on the clock, you know, if we just remember how fast the offense was for Witness, this round, I just want to say, is already over. Like, this has been a completely one-sided showing so far.
Yeah, well, one other thing that is harder to articulate about this level is you gotta brush off the loss, right? Like, you got completely shut out here per Penguin Logistics. So, you know what, you take it on the chin, you move forward, right? We've seen a lot of teams that are in the middle of inviting a lot of divisions below. You suddenly argue with your team, you can't handle it, you're all stressed out. So I'm really excited to see what the adaptation looks like from Penguin Logistics, because they're already thinking about round 2.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. When I look at what I'm seeing in the server here, I really feel like this is a complete outclassing in every regard. If I were a betting man, I would never put money from this point on Penguin winning the next round. But there's a couple important things we can take away from this, right? Seeing Witness Gaming come out this strong on Swiftwater against a team that's a perceived playoff team, right? It kind of shows that Witness need to be feared on this map specifically, but I'm sure that teams in scrims have played them on other maps too, and they'll know like what the strengths and the weaknesses are of this team. If they're going to be this indomitable on Swiftwater, that's a map that you just take into the playoffs right away.
Right, even if nothing else, just to put the fear of God in them, right? Like, are you going to ban this against us, or are you really going to try your luck a second time after it's been... Right, it's week 3 right now, so it'll have been, you know, over a month until they would face off again in playoffs. Almost 2, basically, by the, you know, later end of the playoffs. So, you know, only 45 seconds left. Honestly, getting a chance to practice second would have been great, but no luck there.
Yeah, I mean, at least for Penguin, they'll get offense first next round, so maybe the practice will come in, but right now, like, even if this turns out to be a completely one-sided map, which it's looking like that now, we might be out of here pretty quick because it's Swiftwater. I think it's good to get to see your perceived one seed on cast one time, because when you see them and you get hyped for them, we shelve them until playoffs. So like we know this team, what they're capable of. We will next see them in high stakes matches.
Yeah, I know there's a, I don't know. I think sometimes there's a sentiment that people say, oh, I don't like seeing one-sided matches. I don't want a match to be a blowout, but. I agree with you completely. If we get to show a Witness Gaming that is looking this regimented and this, like, infallible, right? Nothing really shook them at any point so far in round 1. This is what the rest of the league is up against. And
did they just instant ready? No, okay. Wait, Witness unreadied. Witness are the ones that unreadied. What the hell?
Okay, almost got me there. But But you know, I do love us getting to see like, wow, it's this hard to beat Witness. So this is kind of what teams are up against for the season. Maybe it would have been a different story if actually the team started on different sides, right? Because if you're Penguin Logistics, maybe you put up like a 12-minute time, but you always think like, we just needed to make a couple of adjustments and that would have been cut in half, right? So just the fact of them starting on defense and getting just completely run through, I think that made it a lot harder, but we'll see what it looks like now that they're actually taking that time in between.
Definitely made it harder. I am excited to see the Witness second defense because we saw what they were capable of on first. They played very well on first defense with the space they were given to repush. Obviously, that doesn't come every time, but when given the chance, because the offense doesn't 3x the cart and then you get spawners up, they bleed players, you can just go back in with a banner. Getting to do something like that's very nice for Witness because that's a play they have in their book. We know it. Going into the second half, I really just want to see the Witness defense and what they're capable of. Honestly, Dolphin, instead of the time bet, the time prediction we put up, can we put one on if Penguin gets second, period?
Oh my god. Yeah, I guess that's a fun one. I mean, I'm looking at these logs real quick too. I mean, it kind of goes without saying Lenny having a bit of a field day there on the second half of the round, just kind of a open season there, just rattling off shots. Blank, to be honest, I actually want to see if I can find that way of splitting it by half. Blank got so many frags actually on offense as scout, and people always say like, oh, payload, offense, scout, but Blank was in almost every Uber, maybe every Uber actually. So I think Blank put up so many numbers and opened up so many avenues for the team by staying active. And it wasn't like they were ever shy on cart time, right? So they have a really well-oiled machine here.
Yeah, ready up is through. We're ready to get into the second half here. These teams not taking too long. I can guess why, but we are just going to be getting into it. Penguin seeing if they can kind of crack the Witness shout on offense. Witness trying to hold as strong as they can on defense, because if you think about it, if you hard hold them on second, there's no tape of you on the back half of Swiftwater.
Saving strats for playoffs, yeah. Wow, well, I am really hoping, I think, like, to be honest, this offense probably is going to take a long time. And like you're saying, Zach, maybe we won't even see all of it. But what I do think that lets you do is Penguin Logistics, right, is like you start to feel out your opponent a little bit more. You start to, you know, stumble, pick yourself up and get back in the game. The thing is, on defense, you really don't get that chance. So for them to get so blown out so quickly, hopefully this kind of lights that fire under them. Like I said, if Exile suddenly makes these calls like, forget everything we practice and walk through this door with me. Hopefully that's the way back in the round, but it is hard, I think, to keep your chin up and make those kinds of game-winning or game-losing calls, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's easy to recognize that you completely got out macroed in the first half, so that whole, like, balls to the wall, run at them as 9 strat is probably your best bet. We'll see if Penguin Logistics feels the same way, as they are going to get out of spawn here. Blank is cheesing in the spawn gate and going to go down, so having a bit of fun. I mean, apparently there's a crits creek from Fleeble, so a bit too much fun.
Oh, I missed that myself. Right now, let's see, back at only 12% now, and is it still the crits? It's now back to the regular Uber.
Pop crits, then went back to Uber. Wait, actually, real talk. Can that be a viable strat? Because your medic doesn't come out of spawn on first anyway, right? So you charge a crits, you pop a crits over the roof to try and pick off the soldier, and then just swap to Uber. Like, by the time first gets capped, it's a minute anyway, you'll get your Uber.
I think it's not bad. What a collapse here. Actually going down actually to Kuki, the afterburn. Right now, Kiro, one of the only survivors here to tell the story of their fallen comrades here on second.
Yeah, I mean, that was about as much of a demolition derby as we thought it'd be. Even though a couple of the Witness players were having fun, it's because they were like out of position. It was just kind of, yeah, having a bit too much fun on first. But here comes second. This is where the bread and butter starts of Swiftwater defense. So we'll see if they lock in a bit and try and get their hard hold going. For Penguin, they have a good start. You know, sub 1 minute through 1 is fine. So definitely can get some things going. And with Jen finding an entry pick onto Eerie, that is something pretty big to work off of.
Actually, wow, I was looking for the sentry gun, and Flu is just straight up building for,
they're gonna Uber that blank this
giving
time.
this up, basically.
No, wait, Penguin Logistics coming all the way through, and Witness Gaming were very far back in the house. They're not playing close at all, which I guess is smart because your medic doesn't have Uber, so they didn't want to take the exchange, but The downside is that Penguin is now just flooding out onto second. That Ubrat is going to be everything they need. A couple kills going through. They stack the car with the remaining players and get second immediately, so there go the hard hold predictions. I might have baited some people on that one, but regardless, it is Penguin. They're just picking up a lot of the cleanup kills, and they have gotten second in 2 minutes.
Yeah, I really love that call from Flu. Like, you really don't want to come out too soon, otherwise if you die here, they get third as well. But suddenly they end up going down for it anyway, right? Flu goes down late. Ashley gets forced from the house trying to cross, and like, yes, she survives and gets into the spawn room here. But honestly, even from Kira, I think this is a bit brave. But nice shot from Lenny, okay.
Yeah, Witness trying to flood out of third here. They don't want to give this one up, and they're going to fire back a lot of damage onto that heavy. Taters has to get out of dodge. Demo Man now back on the cart, sneaking them off, and Witness will stabilize a bit on third here, which is definitely good for them. Their first 2 points have not been very good on this defense, so looking to kind of dig their heels in and start racking up that time. In the meantime, Cleveland up on 90%, so Penguin Logistics will have about a 30% ad to work with if they want to Uber with it. The question is, where's the combo? Looks like they're all going to go through apartments and try to just Uber into lower.
It is actually 85 from Ashley already.
They need to get cart. If they get
enough,
cart with the super, it's good. Oh, but their med gets sniped immediately. Can they get the cap? It looks like they will get it, so honestly, no harm, no foul from that medic death.
Yeah, Blank is stuck way behind enemy line for way too long. There's even a mini sentry here completely stopping his exit. But wait, is this door open? They find him. Anyway, I'm excited to see Fish here calling this position here, but that long angle from Lenny here. But here comes
coming in from the explosive classes. A good air blast coming out of Melon is going to deny them. Good pipe from Kira takes on Exile, so Sax won't get too much. Cart going to get stalled on that corner. Witness Gaming, I mean, their defense has looked bad, I'll say it. Their defense has not looked good. We can attribute first a bit to some trolling, but like, they have not been able to really dig their heels at all yet. Penguin Logistics have been doing a pretty good job of keeping the snowball rolling.
I do appreciate, right, Witness is kind of on the back foot, but they're making those really tough calls, right? They said, let's hold second really passive. Now they're saying, let's hold third really aggressive. Hold fourth really aggressive here, right? They don't have a gun, so they're giving Flu the space that he needs. Taiga actually with the, not for the decloak yet, actually gets found out. So no spy means you're now very comfortable getting this gun set up here on fourth.
Yeah, Poseidon's on that banner building it up, so whenever the defensive soldiers able to get that one online is a big boon in the post-fight. Both meds on 100% Uber right now. We'll see where Penguin wants to take it. Kind of grouping up in spawn. Poseidon's being a big threat, and there are stickies on the doorway, so those pop. Yup, it's going to get a drop. Ooh. Those sticks from Kira get 3 instantly on the trap, and that's going to completely stonewall Penguin Logistics.
Yeah, that's like such a, you know, like a punch to the gut kind of feeling, right? That sinking feeling where it's like, oh man, this... We suddenly really had a way into this round, and then now full disad on the low ground in this little corner. I feel like I've spent lifetimes waiting for Uber on fourth here, trying to get ready to push, only for it to go like that. So let's see if they're able to do something in the meantime. Maybe it's a stack, maybe it's a sniper play, maybe coordinate with the spy. What do they got up their sleeve?
Lenny's playing a quick timing game where he's trying to get kills through the tiny crack in the fence on that walkout. He just got the scout. Explosive bomb out again from the explosive classes. Exile's gonna get mid-air arrowed by Ashley. That one goes to the frag movie.
And actually getting the kill there with the 2. I love with Taters here, right? Like, when we think of Sax, you think of bombing your soldier, bombing your demo, having an explosive person legitimately explode. But I love at this level here, what they really do is draw the fire of the sentry gun in the enemy players, while someone like Tater speaks through the window and deals 400 damage between the buildings and players.
Around the corner, both teams exchanging. More flashes coming through on Penguin Logistics. They're going to have to back out. They don't really have much presence anywhere else. They will finally get some players into the house right now, trying to work their sniper and soldier. But Fish is in here. You could find a big backstab. Gets 1, can't get 2, but that is a sniper pick. In the meantime, a lot of players going down on the front line, including Exile. So without that demo man, it's going to be hard for Penguin Logistics to get much space. And this 4-hold from Witness Gaming has been very, very hard to break.
Yeah, that's kind of a head scratcher kind of Uber, at least for me, because, you know, why did we cycle Ubers there, right? Because for the offense here, they just used and then they ended up on the low ground anyway. If your flank commits out yard, sure. Or if you suddenly have like a collapse after the Ubers fade, sure. But instead they just kind of used them and now there's no Ubers at all, which is great.
Oh, suddenly you lose yeah, on the cross, trying to cross your medic into house while there's a sniper watching. Always going to be dangerous when that sniper is Lenny, and just like that, they're going to collapse. Lenny got another one. Taters goes down, Exile dead, Cookie dead, Micah dead, and yeah, they just get crushed. I mean, I like that they've tried something new to like overload the cross onto house, but it's just not going to work against a team as good as Witness.
this suddenly what felt like such a snowball here is slowing down. I say that, although
We
there
stopped
is a
rolling,
crits coming
I will
in.
say. Yeah, crits up for Fleeble. It's 30%, and likely will get called at some point by Fish here. He has eyes on the medic. High bomb from Poseidon, counter high bomb from Jolo, and Jolo does force the Uber, so that's a pretty good play out of the Penguin Soldier.
Wow, actually down to literally 2 HP. Just like one hammer distance closer, and suddenly it's all over. But a very nice force. This crit's coming out is now, let's see, 60%. So in just over 10 seconds, we're going to see a nice crits here. The team is backing way up behind the gun, which does not take critical hit damage. So there's still a whole chasm to cross here for Penguin Logistics.
Yeah, I mean, Kira's been on a 10k, Flu's on a 6k, Blank's on a 7k, Lenny had, I think, an 8k before he went down last life, so it's just been a completely one-sided affair on this 4th point. Remember, it was 3 minutes through 3 points for Penguin. We're probably coming up on, what, the 7-8 minute mark soon?
We actually lost Exile. Here's the crits. We lost him just before the crits. He goes back in. Fleeble going to take it super low, and a nice 2K from Fish onto Jolo and Jen here in the garage here. And, oh, a third on the Micah. Wow. So your flank was your kind of saving grace here. Ashley did not have Uber to defend, so you take the flank through the side. Your crit streak demo through main.
Explosive bomb again over the top, looking for Ashley. They're not even going to get a point of damage onto that medic, and yeah, that's good denial from Eerie, tracking them out of the sky.
This feels rough, and Fleeble not overextending here is a great shout, like staying just far enough away that you don't get caught up by the juggling soldier rockets, right? Getting back into spawn, 80%, I believe this is still the crits. Yeah, that has to be building fast enough for it. That's correct. So we now have a crits into Uber exchange.
Yeah, normally doesn't end too well with crits. We'll see if Penguin can pick up maybe a couple kills that let them play post, but when they're all 9 coming out of this choke, it's not going to look likely. Here's the call. It does get Lenny, but that's all it's going to get. Poseidon will move down to a scout. Didn't get a flash in time. In the meantime, everyone else is just going to go down. Carnage on the front lines. Blank will get picked up in the invitators, but stabbed out means that house is clear, and Witness still have this choke point.
Fish has really like planted his flag. This, by the way, like anyone new to this level of play, go back over this demo and watch what Fish is doing in the side house.
Jolo walks in spamming rockets because Fish has killed so many people in that house. He's like, shoot everything. Get that spy out of there.
Yeah, just controlling that part of the map and like choosing his battles, calling to the team, choosing when to go, when not to go. It's amazing how like he bought so many extra minutes onto this hold. Meanwhile, the other points went down in a minute each, so really well played out of Fish. We have, right now the flank is down. Great reaction, or like early anticipation, I should say, from the combo Witness. They back way up.
Look at this. Penguin is flanking out right with crits, but no one is in the zip code, and XL going to get stabbed by Fish. Really great recognition by Witness to say that, hey, it's Fish calling, by the way. That's Fish saying, guys, they're rotating out with crits, back down ramp. And that's what they do. Crits gets nothing, and it's just another wipe.
Fish like that. Sorry, Micah on the card there, solo into 9, like that meme, like haha, I'm in danger. Right now, basically a full wipe for the offense. The cart did get a little bit closer, but honestly, that's kind of that proximity where you're not even going to be able to tap it to keep it alive and keep it that close, right? How are you going to even get there in the first place?
Yeah, maybe spy tap it. Might be useful for Tiger to do, but we'll see. And really, what is the game time, by the way? I don't have the game time on my HUD. It's stretching out pretty long now. We might just end on 4th.
Yeah, there are 3:30 left until stalemate, so great job right now. We have the Penguin Logistics clearing out garage here, so they have at least this part of the map. They have Taters now able to peek out this window. Now when the combo peeks out through main, they're suddenly not taking the entire enemy team worth of focus fire, right?
Yeah, no more crits for Penguin. They're back on Uber charge, 80%. But look at this, Soldier in onto Fleeble, taken down low. Fleeble 90%, can't get the Uber in time. Counter Uber comes out from Witness Gaming. It's freebie. They're going to just go in and kill whoever they can. Do lose a couple players, including an engineer, so they're going to have to build that gun. There is some time, but when Lenny hits another shot through that same crack, that's like his 5th shot through that fence crack this game, it's not going to be easy to walk out at all.
And this, it's so dynamic as well, right? Like, Witness isn't just dedicating one person to it, right? Like, Fish was down, so Blank was holding the flank house, and we've seen other people like Poseidon roam in and out of there. You know, just having that awareness. Even someone like Lenny hard scoping into it, making sure no one can cross. And nice shot from Lenny, speak of the devil. Right now, actually, this Uber did come out from Ashley onto Kira. and they're kind of a little bit far forward here. There's not really that much to show for it, but no
they're
Uber
gonna try and
for
clear house, but it doesn't go too well. Jolo gonna pick up 2, and that's really big. Here and Fish going down, but Lenny's still here. He's killed Exa, I'm pretty sure 5 times on this cross. Another one on the Gen means that that house presence they had just gets completely destroyed.
Yeah, this is feeling so dire now. We have this huge ad for Fleeble, but like, can they convert from it, right? Like, they just got all those crazy hero plays from Jolo in the garage, but suddenly there's 3. There's Eerie, Poseidon, Fish. Actually, even Blanks, almost 4 playing for this angle.
Here comes Uber. Yeah, Penguin taking it out, and they do have some space, but look at this. Witness are stacking the house. This ain't Poseidon lets in, but he can't get there. They can't let him in. And now they're kind of stranded. They're gonna have, they only have 75%. It's just Kira and Ashley here, but with that Pyro walking forward, gonna get that kill to the medic, so I think Witness got bored. And they said, let's try to run house, but they couldn't open the door in time.
One of the very rare cracks in the armor here for Witness Gaming. Yeah, that was so
getting
close
bored? Yeah.
to working so
Huge
well. But
team flaw, honestly. That's exploitable. Let's go.
yeah, that now, actually, wow, even Eerie taking that very long angle here onto the high ground. People don't anticipate just how strong playing on this angle is, because obviously people never do, but that's just because the hold closer is so much better when you have enough players. So that hero play, Eerie, denies so many, takes out 2 more. We're finally...
We're at 13 minutes.
I don't know if you heard that. Even a couple of the Penguin players had to stop and listen. Like, the Sentry was locked on the dispenser that wasn't taking any damage and just running through its ammo. Fish getting actually caught real fast here. Barely manages to slip away here. Wow. Finding the spy here on before this offense would have been huge. But here they come through lower and actually putting massive damage into Eerie.
Yeah, it's Uber v no Uber here. Tiger gets 2. That's pretty big. Blue and Ashley, Medic and NG down. So just like that, they are going to be able to cap last in about 13.5, 14 minutes. So, I mean, winnable. No, I mean, they got the 4th snowball. So it was good to see them do that. But you have to wonder, like, if Witness doesn't run their combo into house and then not get into the house, do they just get held? I want to say probably, but I mean, they capped last, so at least you can say we didn't get hard held by Witness.
Yeah, this, I mean, what like a tale of, you know, the dichotomy here, basically. Most of the push took 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Fourth took 10 minutes. It was something like 9:50, you know, 9:48, 9:52. That's how long 4th took to capture. So, on one hand, you think, great, we actually got the other 4 points in less than 4 minutes, but getting that hard held for that long, I really hope they're able to shake it off and like play calm, because Witness Gaming right now just has to execute. They showed such prowess on offense before. They're going to show it again. So if Penguin Logistics is able to just like take that deep breath and say, you know what, life's hard sometimes, let's just play the way we like to play here on defense, then hopefully they have something to show for us here. But you know, 1344 is a very long time to hold.
Although I want you to know that your 1337 prediction does not deserve any recognition. You do not deserve to be on the post-round screen for that. But Gate's about to drop. Witness Gaming on offense now. Just got a cap in 14 minutes. I mean, they did it in 4 minutes last time, so definitely heavy favorites, obviously. Like, I'd be incredibly shocked. I'd shave my head if they don't cap this in 14 minutes, but I mean, we'll see what Penguin can do. Maybe if they can clean it up a bit, we'll see. I want to watch the Witness offense setup here, because last time they put Eerie on cart with Fist of Steel. This time, not doing that. They are just going to put a lot of pressure into stacking over, and they do kill Taters and Cookies, so multiple plays on first is nice to have. Eerie now going to go to cart with the Fist, so I do like their game plan on first. It's very well thought out.
Yeah, this, I got a little concerned for a second. They actually like half committed Ashley, but there's still a couple surprises.
Look at Exile. He's just walking out here onto cart. He wants to get pressure onto it, but kind of alone. Blank's gonna run at him and just kill him. Yeah, you can't do that alone as a demo man. That's what happens.
Yeah, that's a tough one. He will be up in time for second, and they do turn tail and run really fast here. I'm curious if Fish is able to spot anything out here, like any kind of a quick opening, but no, it looks pretty standard here. We saw Witness actually use the very early Uber on Scout Pyro through upper. Let's see if they have that same game plan.
Yeah, last round they didn't take Scout. This round they are going to take Scout, so Uber through the doorway, trying to get Blanket behind, and this is what he did last round. He just went all the way behind, got a pack, but he doesn't get picked off this time. Exa, of all people, chasing him down and killing him. That is definitely helpful, because Blank was a big part of their second push last time. So now that he's not in behind, we'll see what Witness decide to do. They have Fish in deep in enemy lines. I want to see if he has an Enforcer to shoot the gun, or he's going to go for a sap or something in a second.
And this,
So
this is good news, right? Like, so this is good news for the defense, right? No Ubers on the board. You have all this time. You just need to play chill, right? Which means not feeding anyone to Lenny, right? Keeping a close eye on that demo man. Very nice snipe from Jen onto Melon. You lose your gun, that's okay. It's kind of expected. Can we focus down Kira in time? He has no
Yeah, but Jen's dead now, so Lenny has free reign. You gotta be very careful because that can happen. Cookie gets taken down. So does Exile, Taiga, and Jolo all follow. So Dominoes get knocked over by Witness Gaming the second they get the first one on the board. And now, quick second cap. It's, let's see, what it was, 13:40. They capped in 2 minutes, 20 seconds through 2.
Oh, that was a really tough one here. That losing Fleeble as your last player, and Exa as well, right? They both kind of said like, oh, surely we'll get Uber in time. We'll be able to just barely get it. And I think they did it something like 90. Yeah, there it is, 96%. So likely no third hold here. Getting a little bit cute with it, right? You see if you can get those 1 or 2 picks, get 1 or 2 players onto the cart to stall, but not quite. Poseidon and Melon holding this correct high ground angle blocks him out completely.
What's Ashley doing? Just holding W or walking around crosshair in the sky. That third gets captured. Blazing fast time. This is reminiscent of their first round offense, and now with the Uber ad, we will likely see them take this one in the second some space, but with Blank and Snipe, they might wait. Blank has been a big part of their offensive Ubers, but looks like they want to go anyway. Kira going to take a solo now as they pop Uber around the corner. They get Micah before it even starts out, so no scout for either team. Kira trying to look over the edge, but can't really find too much damage, so Uber gets them space, but not any kills. We'll see if they can make good on the positioning, and Poseidon looking to do just that over the gun.
This Uber feels surprising for Witness. Maybe that was I was gonna say that feels like a me kind of call. Maybe it came out of Ashley. I don't know, birds of a feather on that one, because I feel like there's a lot you could do with the map control, but they didn't really show anything.
Well, Ashley's in there. Ashley's so dead. Yeah, surfed the wrong way on that one, and good defense running out, trying to get kills. They're actually just going to get mulched. Kira and Poseidon get some damage down. Lenny cleans up Taiga. Both teams only 4 alive. This one going down to Chaos. Look at that trade. Kira hits the pipe onto Micah, but the quick scope onto Cookie from Lenny is going to let the offense stay on the cart here, but defense gets spawns, and they have a chance to contest before it gets up the ramp.
There's a weird serenity going up against Lenny, just knowing that he will get you, right? Like, you don't have to stress, you don't have to worry, like, oh no, what's going to happen if I peek him and he scopes in? Like, you're just a goner. So it really trims down the mental calculus for you, right?
Yeah, and when you have players who can do things like that, you make good on even situations. So even though that one devolved into a 4v4, great pipe by Kira, great snipe by Lenny, they win out, and now they cap 4th. So 9 minutes to get last. I mean, it's an inevitability at this point, really. They have 50-60% Uber ad before Fleeble even spawns up, so Kira already peeking in, looking to get some damage and get this one closed out.
Yeah, this, a lot of presence here on the card. That way, like, if 1 or 2 people get spammed out, you're still getting that cap time.
Watch Melon with
actually
the air
gonna get
blast.
really close, yeah.
Yeah, Melon with the air blast on that heavy is a lot of presence to make. So Cart gets halfway between the switch and the hole. At this point, you know, you're only getting on it if you're full sacking. So it's going to back up and get their Uber up. Ashley has 100%, going to buff everyone up and get ready for the push. Taiga is calling this, so they are going to do the drop down and walk up the side. Poseidon dead at the start, but they are just in. They get Cookie immediately. Fish will get killed, but so will the Sentry Gun, and now the cart stack, but big nuke from Exile with those stickies, taking down the players, and Taters has a flank too onto the cart. A lot of chaos raining down on this last point. Big arrow from Ashley, and now Lenny with a quick scope. Jen, though, getting onto Ashley. It's 1v1, and Blank wins it out, pushing Jen off that cart, and that's going to be the 2-0 sweep for Witness Gaming. One-sided, a bit of trolling done, but I think we know who the far superior team is at this point in the season.
Yeah, unbelievable showing, right, from Witness Gaming, and yeah, I think like you mentioned, we kind of expected them to play well, and I do think a number of those players like this map in particular too. It's fun. I think it's so drawn out and so cerebral that like you can find a lot of ways into the strategy itself, right? It's not like one huge pick ends everything. So, but yeah, I do like. I don't know. I think back to a number of these points on the defense here for Penguin Logistics. It really feels like they had pretty solid footing for a lot of the time. But again, once Witness Gaming, even when Witness like failed at something, it was never that bad. They always had to plan B, C, D, and all of them so quickly in succession too. So even when things went well 3 times in a row, it went right for them the 4th time. So they didn't lose that much, all things considered.
Dolphin, these are second half logs only, correct? It's crazy to me that when I
Wow.
saw Exa spend 33% of that elongated offense getting sniped on the house cross, he's top fragging their team with 20. I don't know how that happened. I mean, props to him, I guess, for getting all the cleanup. I don't know when it could have been. Like, maybe on like the defensive sacks where Witness was kind of running around. But I mean, either way, good game from Exa. But if you look at the other side, Kira is 36 and 9. Blank has a good game. Lenny has a great game. The stats are like one thing here. I really like Witness Gaming are just a better team on the macro perspective, far and above. And like when players make individual plays, it only adds on to that.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, it really feels like, which I think is like good news in a way, because like the pieces are working. It's just like the combination, right? That needs some work. So, and you have, I think, a lot of great examples here. It does suck, kind of like you said, the first round being so short means it's really hard to find the takeaways. But at least round 2 here, you got I think, a decent enough defense here for Penguin Logistics. You got a decent, most of your offense was actually fantastic, like a 5-star offense for every point except 4th. So I do think they have, again, a lot to work with here and a lot of understanding what worked, what can work better for next time, and even some transferable skills into other maps, hopefully.
Yeah, I think it'd be good to see them as they grow throughout the season into a potential playoff spot. For Witness Gaming, though, I think after this, like I said, we're probably shelving them until those playoffs come out, because I think this team's a very clear front runner, and with how well they played, any matches against any team below Penguin on the table are going to be of a similar vein, we'll just say.
Yeah, well said. I am excited too. Again, looking at a lot of these players too, like on the Penguin Logistics side, for example, like Taiga is someone that I've I don't know, was lucky to play with for a while, that I'd seen like throughout a lot of advance, for example. So kind of taking this foray into Invite, and I'm not sure how many seasons now of Invite Taiga must have, but I don't know. I think like as a team like this, you have so much to work with and so much room in. Same for Taters. I remember like as a one of the darlings of advance for a while, right? So you mentioned too, Micah can bring in that like glue. I think like Micah is so astute to understand like what does the team need right now. I'm going to do it without even thinking, and that way the rest of the team has like a platform to jump off of. So I am excited to see what these players take away from this performance and what they're taking into their subsequent matches, especially gearing up for playoffs, because this is the team to beat.
Knowing what we know now about how this match turned out, I would have loved for this to be on Koth instead of Stopwatch, especially Swiftwater. I think this would have given us a lot bigger of a tell on the team's strengths. Well, on Penguin's strengths, right? Because for Witness, right, I would not want to play them on this map. And like for everyone watching and all the teams game planning for a potential match later on in playoffs, this is a map I'd consider banning if you're not going to play Steel, rather, or if you do want to play Steel. I mean, Penguin or Witness might even ban Steel, who knows? But yeah. I mean, that's about all we got for this one. 2-0 for Witness, very decisive, and shelving them till the end of the season, where we're definitely going to see them make a run for that trophy.
Amen to that. Yeah, this is everyone remember this. This is sort of the North Star of the season, because seeing how strong Witness played like as themselves, right? Like seeing their positioning and the way they played off each other, and then seeing how dominant that performance can look once it's finally playing out on the server. This is going to be a real fun puzzle to solve here. Like how can we get past Witness here? So yeah, I'm excited to see that develop over the season.
Yeah, well, that said, I think that's all we got here for you guys tonight. Next week is going to be, let's see, it's going to be Prute Week. Oh, hell yeah, we haven't seen Prute in so long. I actually love that map. It's a Koth map that, throws a lot of conventional Koth stuff out the window, where snipers are actually gimped on that map compared to other Koth maps. So, we might see interesting stuff. We got Penguin Logistics versus Big Brain Comp, Dumb Kids versus Run It Back, Redacted versus DZ Creatures, and Witness versus Locked In. I don't know who's going to do that there. DK Rib? is what Alta says apparently. So it's probably a good one. I think we'll probably do that because we haven't seen either of those teams on cast yet. That might be a good time to get them on and show them off to the rest of the Highlander crowd. But that said, that's going to be for next Monday. Red, you got any closing statements you want to make?
Oh, sure. Shout out to Alto. Hope you feel better. Shout out to you and Dolphin. Zach, thank you both so much for having me. I'm really happy to be here. Shout out both these teams. Obviously, I'm nothing but love for the medics, Ashley and Fleeble, and of course, pretty much all of the players on both sides are great friends. So I'm really happy to be here. Happy to see everyone rocking and rolling, having a great time doing it. So, yeah, cheers for having me. Thanks again.
Yep, that said, that's going to be it for us here tonight. I am Zagron, joined by Rogue and Dolphin behind the camera. As always, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you guys next Monday night.